What's up? What's going on, you guys? Welcome, Rock Bottom Podcast with Brady. How are you? Yes, I'm late. I'm switched everything over to Google Chrome, and now it's not letting me send emails. So I was panicking. So we're gonna get into it. I got Primetime Alex Stein with me. My sponsors, SilkCityHotSauce.com, Pain in the Brain. Put in Rock Bottom, save 15%, and get that hot sauce. All right. So I'm putting all my links in the comment section but it's gonna be a fun show. Let's get into it. Bring on, you know him, Primetime 99, the pimp on a blimp.
You nailed it.
What's up, buddy?
Yo, we got a lot to talk about. I watched a lot of the podcast yesterday. That was legendary stuff.
Yeah, man. I got more out of that therapist in an hour and a half than I did like 2 years worth of therapy, where I just couldn't connect with any therapist. Like every time they say something like, no, you're not understanding where I'm coming from. And
well, it's because he's a fan, so he knows you a lot more than any therapist would know you. You can tell he's a fan of the MLC universe. He's
a fan of MLC. Is he a fan of me?
Yes, dude. Yeah, because I'm a fan of you just because you're on the show. I mean, you know, if you watch it by proxy, you are in the MLC verse. It's like the Dabble verse, all these podcast wars, you know.
Wars? Am I really at war? I don't think I'm at war with anybody. I don't know.
I know, dude, because you're a Red Bar Ray, dude. You're on Red Bar's show, dude. You're not at war with anybody. You're trying to be Switzerland as fuck, as we say. Excuse my French.
Hey, it's all right. I did want to say, if you saw MLC yesterday, the Pat Dixon thing, it looks like it. Carlos Danger, I don't want to speak for him, but he pointed out that it all came from an episode I did in April, where I misconstrued something that Pat said on a different podcast that someone brought in there, and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna take shots at me? I'll take shots at you." So like that, I'll straighten that out another time. I invited Pat to do my podcast last night to just like get to the bottom of all that stuff or whatever. But yeah, what did you think of the episode yesterday? You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of it. You know, I thought it was good. Like I said, I think that guy's a little bit of a fanboy, so that probably helped a little bit, because like you may not know it, but he obviously watches the show and he watches you, and he's heard about the stuff, and then the stuff with the blanket, and then I mean all of that was good.
Not the pink blanket.
The blanket was the biggest deal. The blanket's the best part. What are you talking about, Ray? It's your niece's blanket or something like that. I mean, that's dark and deep. That's like we're getting to the root issues. It's all about the blanket. The blanket means everything. I know it's blanket gate. I know it sounds weird, but life is weird. I mean, Ray, it's the weird things in life. It's very eccentric. The blanket, though, says a lot, is all I'm going to say. I mean, I'm not going to psychoanalyze you, because that's not my profession. I wouldn't know how to do it correctly.
I went to Detroit. I didn't bring a blanket, but if I'm living in two places, yeah, I take my blanket with me. I need a light comforter to take with me. It could have been any random blanket, just happens to be a pink blanket. It's comfortable.
But there's more to the story, Ray.
What is the story? It's not that deep. I'm not that deep, Alex Stein. I'm not deep at all. I'm very like basic.
Shallow. I get it or whatever, but that's not good.
I wasn't going to use.
Well, you said I'm not deep. I didn't say that. You're asking me the word that you're trying to. I'm trying to put the word in your mouth. You're saying I'm not deep. What's the opposite of not deep? Not the deep end, the shallow end.
Was shallow makes you sound like a shallow person, doesn't? But I mean, it's more like there's not that many layers. I'm not that complex. Does that make sense?
You're more complex than you think. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that. I think we're all a little more complex. We all have, you know, weird idiosyncrasies or things that we're self-conscious about. You know, I think we're all pretty complicated, really.
Yeah, but he did. I do want to read those books that he was telling me about. And yeah, I do need to quit drinking, but I don't know, Alex, like, I don't know what your situation is, but like, I don't have a family. I don't have a girlfriend or something. So like, part of me is like, yeah, I'm just sitting here by myself. Who cares what I do? You know, well, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm only hurting myself.
Yes, that is true. But there's this, gosh, I really should pull up this clip. It's such a great clip. I shared it on my Twitter, but it's like a movie from 1986 and it's describing New York City. And it's like, they describe it as a prison where the inmates are running the prison. So when you live there and you have a car, but don't you take public transportation a lot of places, or do you drive drunk?
I drive. It depends where I'm going in New York City and what time of day.
Well, I guess my whole point is that New York is a very alcohol culture. You almost need alcohol to survive. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. It's just part of it. It's just something about it. And it's because it's almost like a prison. And I love New York. I think it's the best city. But just because it's so crazy and there's a guy doing fentanyl in the corner and traffic is crazy and there's all these buildings, you almost need a little liquor just to medicate yourself to deal with the anxiety that's going around you in the city. I mean, I'm not even saying that as like a enabling you to drink. I would definitely say you should probably drink less. But at the same time, if I lived in New York City, it's a hard place, I think, to be sober in a weird way. And that's how I honestly feel about it.
Yeah, it takes me down a notch. It lets me relax and just like, I don't know, numbs my anxiety.
Especially when you're doing stand up, but the problem is it's such a slippery slope because it goes from like I stopped drinking and that changed my life, but it goes from such a slippery slope where you're having 2 beers before your comedy show to loosen up, which is fine, you know, because it's kind of nice to take the edge off. But then you're like getting wasted when the Jets are playing or whatever. Which football team do you like?
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah, you're from Ohio. Duh. That's what I'm saying. Give it the Browns or whatever. But I'm saying, you know, you watch a Browns game, you end up getting wasted. So, you know, it's easier to. I don't know if you do that, but I'm saying, you know what I mean.
I'm a night drinker. I can't drink during the day. I'm like when night comes, that's when I will have. I can't drink in the middle of the day. I get.
But if you're suffering from depression, and I'm not, I don't know if you are. I'm not a mental health expert, but. My mom was in and out of like drug rehabs and got sober. You can never fix your depression if you're constantly drinking because it kills your brain cells. It just makes it's like poison to your brain. So the way your brain creates serotonin, alcohol is like it temporarily relieves the pain, but the hangover or the rebound effect is always going to cause more anxiety and more depression.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk more to that guy and like just find out like what's going on with the medications and stuff. And like, here's the deal. When I got things to look forward to, like that's when I'm great. When I got things to look forward to, when there's nothing especially to look forward to, like, I'm like, all right, what am I doing? There's no big, you know what I mean? So I always got to keep finding stuff to look forward to is what I can say. And I do want a girlfriend. I'm actively going to start, you know,
the dating apps suck, though. I mean, you should be a big enough podcaster where there should be girls in your DMs that like you. I mean, you don't have that yet?
I'm getting there. I'm no prime time.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
tell that girl that was on your show the other day I'm a free agent. What's her name? Lena?
Which one?
The one which I wanted to get into it later with your
Marie
lawyer.
Teresi?
You had the lawyer about your. You were talking about your AOC lawsuit.
Oh, Pamela. Yeah, you like that Pamela girl. Yeah, but she's married. No, but dude, there's that one hot girl. What was that hot?
We could fix it.
I know, but what was that hot blonde girl that was on MLC with you guys? She kind of had the short hair. She was hot. Who is that girl?
Tracy.
You don't like Tracy. Why don't you like
Tracy? I like Tracy.
Wasn't she vibing with you?
Yeah, she's a cool lady. I'm out there. Yeah, I'm out there. We're gonna see what's going on.
It's hard though. It's hard to date too because like you're a comedian, so your lifestyle is kind of different. But I mean, I would think that there's probably a lot of girls now in this day and age who probably think that's cool, you know, because everybody's.
You would think. Alan.
Well, I'm saying everybody's a YouTuber now, so it's kind of funny that you have a podcast. It actually does separate. I know, like everybody has a podcast now, but not everybody really does. You know what I mean? So it's like some girls like, "Oh, you have a podcast? That's kind of cool." You know, they might. You know, I don't know. Are you trying to get married? You want to have a family, don't you?
I don't know about that, but let's just start with me dating a girl. How about we'll start with that?
Yeah, I date a lot of girls. That's why, like, we don't have to get into the past.
Where you're at right now?
Right now I'm single, but I'm kind of I'm in the market. I'm dating. I'm currently dating right now, but yeah, I don't have a problem with girls. No, I'm very very blessed in that sense. I mean, there's obviously more girls, you know, that I would like to sleep with, you know.
There you go. Hey now.
But I don't really sleep with that many girls because it is difficult. It's crazy. The oxytocin, once you mate with a woman, you become connected.
That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm like, can I mate with you?
Yes. Well, I'm just saying the carnal
Hey,
connection. It's more than just.
You're a mate. I'm a mate. Let's start mating.
Well, it's like Charlie Sheen. He says that he didn't pay him for sex. He paid him to leave. So when you sleep with these girls, you can't. I really can't because girls form relationships, and then my whole day is a nightmare when girls are texting me. Why aren't you calling me? This and that. It's almost not even worth the 3 minutes of fun sex, all the headache after. So it's I have to be very careful and pick and choose. So I'm not as big of a freak hoe as I could be, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think you're out there. I think you're out there killing it. I'm gonna read some super chats, just these 4 super chats, and then we'll move on. Moon landing, ice wall.
We're not even doing that this time. I'm not doing that. We're not going down that. I mean, I love all those stuff. We're not doing that today. But we do need to talk about Mike Harrington. So are you? See, I don't know. Lewis has been very nice to me, and it's funny. And Lewis probably won't get mad at me for saying this because he's pretty open book. But
let me read these other 3, and then we'll get out of that. But we'll go right to Mike Harrington. Franklin Scheckler, congrats on planning to quit drinking, Ray. Thank you, Franklin Scheckler. Chris Mack, Ray, the doctor made it clear he couldn't talk to you again. Yeah, I know, but I'm going to Andy's helping me out with that. Ray and Tracy Jane's undiscovered passion. Alex knows that Ray and Tracy are a great match. Thank you, Ray and Tracy's.
They are.
All right, so we can pull up Mike Harrington's Instagram.
I pulled up his fight. So long story short, dude, I had a great opportunity with DAZN to fight for Misfits and Keemstar, who's like this huge internet YouTuber that's been on the scene forever.
The dude you threw turkey hot dogs at, and it got canceled.
Yes, it got canceled. Even though there's no outrage, they like preemptively canceled it so there wouldn't be any outrage. And so a lot of people think that I purposely did it so I wouldn't fight, so I look like a wuss. And I think Mike Harrington was one of the guys that said that. It's like he thinks that I did that on purpose to sabotage my own fight. And so I was like, dude, I'll box you. Because I talked to Lewis. Lewis reached out to me about rescheduling the fight with me and Modine. But Modine, once he met me, Mo does not want to fight me because he doesn't realize. A lot of people don't realize, Ray, you've met me in person, but you probably don't even remember. I'm 6'3" and I'm 220 pounds. Like I'm not. Dude. Yeah, I'm a pretty big dude. And then I've never met Mike Harrington, but he's pretty big. And like I've been boxing against kind of fat guys like that. Like he looks fat, but sometimes
guys like that. Shape. That's what's weird. He just had a baby with his wife Alex, who's a sweetheart. They're both.
She looks really cool. Yeah, I follow her on
Mike
Instagram.
And Alex, and yeah, I don't know. She had the baby, yet he put on the weight. I don't know how that happened.
Well, I don't know how his weight is, but dude, I've been boxing against fat guys, and they wear me out sometimes in the gym because I'm just tired because there's like fat guy stamina. You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it because you're only going hard for a minute, so some fat guys can go hard for a minute or two.
All right, let's watch him. Let's watch.
Yeah, we'll watch him. See, that's good.
Oh, that's a slip.
1 minute left.
That's
fighters feeling each other out, pacing themselves.
See, that's good.
Into the corner, overhand right. Oh,
you got him in the face right there.
This video is the style bender. Booker time. Deciding to drop his hands. That overhand.
Dude, he got fat. Like Mike should not be this fat.
Like
Mike was in decent shape.
Yeah.
Like just like a year and a half ago.
Harrington coming in for the kill.
Is this the beginning of the
You're saying he's bigger? Look, he's doing good right there. That guy's tired as crap. See, he won right there on pure stamina too. Because the other guy was tired. He couldn't punch anymore, and he just got him. He won that round because the other guy was just dead tired. I mean, he's hitting him. He's definitely connecting too.
30 seconds.
Have you been boxing? You've been training?
I have, dude. I've been training, twice a week. I've been sparring, though, dude. My chest right now, as a matter of fact, I'm sore. Like, I have a little contusion on my chest. Dude, I'm sparring this guy that just got out of prison. I'm not even kidding at the gym because it's hard to find sparring partners.
You can take that video down or whatever, but that's not. Yeah, dude, he put on more weight than I remember. Like he was like.
Is he bigger than that now? Ray, listen to my question. Is he bigger than that now, or is he skinnier than that now?
No, that's the fattest I ever saw him. I've never seen him like that heavy. He was actually like in good shape. Like I've known him for like 8 years. He was always like in really good shape. Like I've never seen him like this heavy. That's the heaviest I've ever seen him.
I don't know. I think that's over a year old though. So I don't know what his weight is. I think he's still pretty big.
Maybe he lost a little weight since then because I've seen him. I remember him like back in the day when I lived in New York City. He was always like in really good shape. So, but yeah, I know that he loves that
MMA.
MMA and fighting for a few years now. So this.
See, I don't give a crap about any of that. I like to box and compete. But I'm telling you, dude, I've taken some punches now and it hurts, and I've had to already deal with some injuries a little. So I'm not trying to become a professional boxer by any means, but I want to take a few of these celebrity influencer fights, and so I need to get a fight under my belt so that that promotion will know that I'm actually not trying to self-sabotage and just do this for clout. Because it was for such a big promotion, they just gave me a break because I have a lot of Twitter followers and Keemstar likes my content. I was fighting like a Muslim guy, so they thought it'd be controversial, which it was. And I'm not anti-Muslim at all, but just like conservative guy versus Muslim guy. Like they just thought, they kind of leaned into that. And I just I messed up that opportunity and it made me sick. So now I got to fight Mike Harrington, and he's not a scrub. He's 3-0. So it's going to be a battle. Like he's going to get some punches in. I'm definitely going to get some punches in. I mean, there's no doubt I'm going to hit him right in his face, but you can get hit in the head. I've been hit in the head a few times. Yeah. You can take some punches.
Me too. I've gotten hit in the head.
No, but I'm saying it's different. It's different than a street fight, though, Ray, because you get tired. Like if I block a few of his punches with my shoulders after his 8th or 9th punch, even mine, you hit softer, And so like even when you hit the head, if it's at the end of a round, sometimes you're still hitting hard, but it just depends on how you're throwing it, your body angle. So my point is, he can always catch me with a lucky punch, but if we're going the distance, like if we're we don't knock each other out, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't. When is the fight?
November 4th. And it's in Tampa, Florida at the Carnival of Combat. So it's Luis Gomez. They were going to do it at Skankfest, but they had to reschedule because they're so annoying with certifications and licensing and medical
Florida,
testing.
Nobody cares in Florida.
Yeah, somehow it's wide open down there. It's just like a street fight exhibition match. But I'm going to Skankfest because we're going to do a press conference there. So I've never been to Skankfest. Have you been?
Yeah, I've done it 3 times when it was in New York. All times it was more like I just went there, and then Christine, Big J's ladies, like just puts me on the stage. So I've done Skankfest 3 times, but it's all like it's a great time. They have like very loyal fans. So
yeah, Lewis is like, yeah, he's like, yeah, we're just gonna throw you up on stage randomly too if you want to go up. I was like, really? So I'm gonna go there and do some comedy and get the press conference, and then just freaking get ready for this fight.
They're also great comedy fans. Like, I mean, they love everything. They love, you know what I mean? They love. So it's gonna be easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, if you say.
Really? Okay, well, good. I mean, I was talking to Danny Polishuk. He's going to be there. He says it's really awesome. So,
yeah.
No, I'm excited. And Lewis has been really nice, but he said this. This is the statement I was going to say that I was like, he won't care. Lewis is like talking to me on the phone. He's like, Alex, you've been really easygoing, because I'm not making a bunch of money. I'm making really not that much money. I don't even want to say what I'm making, but it's not that much money.
It's no one's business. And like when people,
I know, but it's
not. That for a minute, like,
basically, I'm paying my trainer the exact same amount what I'm paying, which is not much, which is really not much. I'm not paying my trainer all that much either.
Sounds like you just want to fight.
Yes, I just want to fight. I want to get something under my belt, and I want to, so I don't look like such a wimp. But
because
I was a wimp. Not that I was afraid to fight.
I've been calling you a wimp on a blimp. That's what I've been calling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be a wimp on a blimp. Mike needs to use that. He's a wimp on a blimp. Oh, I like that. That's a good nickname, wimp on a blimp. Oh,
wimp on a blimp. That's the name of it. Do you care if I call the episode Wimp on a Blimp?
No! Oh my gosh, you can go wimp on a blimp. I don't care. But I am a pimp on a blimp, not a wimp on a blimp. Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be a wimp on a blimp. I want to be a pimp on a blimp. So yeah, so I got to get a fighter under my belt, and it's going to be a tough battle. We're going to go toe to toe. And but what I was saying is, Lewis is like, yeah, you've been easy to work with. He's like, when I talk to people about you, you don't have the best reputation. I was like, wow, that's coming from Lewis. Yeah, he just said a lot of guys. Yeah, but it was not. It wasn't like that. He's just like, yeah, no, you've been really easy to work with. I guess maybe he thinks I'm like gonna do some stunt or something. Everybody doesn't know.
So I don't know. You throwing turkey hot dogs like that wasn't planned. That was like really. Just
I told his corner and I told him it was turkey and everything, but just I told my promotion as well, but the top promotion, the people that do the pay-per-view, it's called The Zone. They do it for the Logan Paul fight, the Jake Paul fight, the KSI. They're the top pay-per-view boxing company. They do real fights, not just influencer boxing shit. And they canceled me because they didn't want the controversy of anti-Muslim because they're owned by some Saudi Arabians.
Oh man. Well, I'm sorry that happened, but
I
wish you would have fought that guy because that dude I don't think ever like fought before.
No, it was 0-0, yeah, and I would have won because he wasn't training. I was so much taller than him, and he was just out of shape. Because like even in the pre-workouts, he was so tired. He could just I'm not saying that I'm the best fighter, but I was in better shape then, and I'm gonna get in that shape. I'm getting better. Just in the past month, I've been training like this all month. I've been boxing every 2 days a week, and then I go
walking down the street. You like have the
I spar 2 days a week. But yeah, I am throwing punches in shadow boxing, but I spar 2 days a week where we actually hit each other. And then I do like 6 miles on the other days that I'm not sparring. So I've been getting there and I'm getting better, but I need to lose about 10 pounds just so I'll be like quicker and boom, 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 bam. I mean, I'm going to get in Harrington and hit him right in his face.
I like both you guys. He's actually
and I like Harrington. That's why I don't even want to talk crap because he's been very nice. Like, the only thing I'll say is that he's ugly, but other than that, I love the guy. He's actually a really nice guy, and I'm excited to fight him. I mean, he took the fight. We have no beef, but it's gonna be for real when we get in the match. That's why I don't really want to meet him. I mean, at the press conference, I'm going to talk crap.
No beefs, just hot dogs. That's all you got.
Well, I'm going to throw hot dogs at him. He even said they throw some hot dogs. So I got to throw something at his ass. Yeah, I had to throw something at the press conference. That's my calling card. They won't cancel me there, but maybe not hot dogs. I might throw something out. I might get like McDonald's hamburgers or something.
I want to do this because I only have you like till 1, but I want to talk about this. So on your last episode, if Andy, if you don't mind pulling that up, right around like the 51-minute mark where your lawyer comes on, I want to hear about all your lawsuits.
Oh yeah, see, I knew you'd like this. I was telling my producer, I was like, yeah, I need to have our attorney on. I gotta have him on more. Yeah, dude, I'm suing a lot of people. I think he talked about. I don't even think he mentioned.
You want to go into it while he's taking time to like?
Oh yeah, no rush.
Ray, I don't have a video. Which video are you referring to?
Here, I'll find it. I'll put it in the chat. Let me get it.
Yeah. While he's doing that, yeah, because I switched.
I'm not even kidding. I
switched over to Google Chrome. For some reason, it's not letting me send emails on Google Chrome. I have no idea what the hell is going on. But
you got to log back in.
Yeah. I will read some super chats while you're doing that. John Spittle, don't ever change, Ray. Well, I'm going to get sober. I'm going to get a girlfriend. That's one. And I do have options. There are some ladies, and I've never taken up any women on their advances lately, but I'm going to start considering them. I make it sound like I have all these offers coming in, but I will start considering them now. Tampaletta Converters. Ray wants to get a girlfriend so that he can look forward to breaking up with her. It's content, I tell you. No, I don't want to break up with a girl. Franklin Scheckler, $2. Throw McDonald's, burgers, nugs, or filet of fish. Do you ever think of fighting Perry Caravello? Apparently, he hates filet of fish sandwiches.
Yeah, I like Perry stuff, but I don't want to box Perry. Yeah, I don't want to box Perry. I don't want to box Stuttering John, but I would love to. I mean, I would never do it because he's older. I know he thinks he's so tough. I would box Stuttering John like that, but he would get crushed.
Bubble
I would feel bad.
24. Why is Dixon mad at you? Answer in 1 sentence, please. I don't think neither. I'm not mad at him. He's not mad at me. He's gonna come on my podcast and we'll talk it all out. And we'll get to the origin of it. I was just thrown off when he brought something up out of the blue the other day. I kind of went off on him. But we'll fix it.
Yeah, him and Stevie Lou have a lot of beef.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it's kind of one-sided. Like Stevie Lou just really hates Pat for what. Like I don't think Pat's ever done anything to Stevie Lou. I don't.
The one thing I don't get is when Stevie Lou acts like Pat hasn't done anything in comedy. Pat's done like 10 times more than
Pat's been around. Pat's been in business forever. Yeah, no. I'm not hating on Pat. I don't even want to get into it. I'm just saying it seems like
Pat
Stevie Lou
specials on TV before, but Pat's got a lot of credentials. Yeah,
for sure.
So this is where the lawyers come in.
So now we welcome on one of my best friends and a personal hero of mine, John Gross.
Hey, Alex.
Hello,
Hold
John.
me on.
Thank you.
How you doing, Alex?
A lot of people don't know how close we are, John, do they?
No, I try and keep that a secret.
I know that's smart, but they don't realize that you and I have teamed up and we're taking on the world. And not only the world, we're taking on AOC, the city of Plano, we're taking on Las Vegas, we're taking on the city of Dallas, we're taking on the county of Dallas. We've already taken on New York City and won. We're also taking on the city of Plano. So you and I, we are the what is it? The Bash Brothers. We're like Jose Canseco because I take steroids, and you're like Mark McGuire.
McGuire
Who also takes steroids?
Yeah, well, we're both on steroids. That's why we're extra strong. So, John, I wanted to have you on. We're also with Pamela Noble. But before we get into my current lawsuits, I've been prank calling crisis hotlines on this show and saying that I didn't get free cheese sticks from Venezuela and TGI Fridays. Am I going to jail?
I guess we'll find out. But I'm here for you, Alex, when they take you away. So just give me a call.
When they inevitably do take me away. So, Pamela, this is my attorney. And not a lot of people know about this. John also went to rabbinical school and was a rabbi, John. So tell them a little bit about your process and why you became an attorney when you already
All right,
had
let's
a
get
great
into the
job.
lawsuit.
I don't know if you
So,
call
yeah,
it
you
rabbi.
can fast forward a little.
You already had a successful life. Why did you?
That's good.
Our longest running case is the Dallas County case. That one's been going on for over a year now, and trial is scheduled for March. So everybody will stay tuned for that one. That's going to be in federal court in the Northern District of Texas.
And so a little bit of backstory about that. I went in front of the Dallas County judge, Clay Jenkins, and I started reading about how when he was in college, he went to a woman's dorm and stole their panties. He did a panty raid. And honestly, I mean, as bad as that is, everybody's a goofball in college. I'll give him a break. But I just started to read not even first paragraph. I got through 2 sentences, and he had me escorted out by the cops. So I think that's one of our best open and
This
shut
is the
cases when it
Barstool
comes
guy,
down
right?
to limiting my
No,
freedom of
this
speech.
is I was in the
They're actually
county
fighting the
judge,
hardest. What is their personal
and
attorney?
in college here, Bosco Cook in college, he got arrested. He's like this really important guy here in Dallas. He's like the mayor of the county, basically. That's what the county judge is. He's not like a judge in a court. He's an elected politician. He's just called the county judge.
How about we just talk about it instead of the lawyer?
Yeah, I'll just explain it right there. No, but that's one of my best cases because he got arrested in college for doing a panty raid where he stole some girls' panties. And there was an article written about him. It was actually a favorable article, but in it talked about how he got arrested, and they just kind of just glanced over it in the article. Well, I started reading it. I brought that article, it was a 6 or 7 year old article, into the county commissioner's court and started reading it as the open public speaker stuff. And he had me immediately escorted. I mean, didn't even get to read 3 sentences. He knew exactly what it was because I all gave him copies of it. I had printed out copies. I gave it to the bailiff to give them all.
Of course you did.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So he knew.
Yeah.
So as soon as he saw what it was and all of the other people there, he just had me escorted out. And that's probably our best case, but they're fighting the hardest because it's our best case because they don't want to pay a settlement. And they've sent us an offer, but I turned it down to try to settle outside of court.
So you want to go to court?
Yes, yeah, because
Okay.
they just made me a small offer. It's basically just the legal fees taken care of, and I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to do that. So that's my biggest kind of meatball hanging out in the sky. Is that going to be good? Is that going to be bad? But we've had
the content. You're going to win in the end because you're going to get the content out of the whole thing.
I mean, we'll see. But then New York City, I sued them because I was calling them over Zoom and in person, and they were limiting my free speech. And they didn't even want to go to court. They settled right away because New York's insane. New York just didn't want to even mess with it. Because every time I go in town, I would go to a lot of the meetings there, and then I would call into Zoom. So they all knew, every city councilman and Eric Adams, they all know who I am because I prank called New York City so much.
Dude,
but that's
my roommates murdered someone, was coming to my apartment 4 times a day, and they wouldn't even go to my apartment to get a murderer.
Wait, say that again, Ray?
Yeah, I don't want to get into. I
know, but your roommate was a murderer?
Yeah. We'll get into it for another time. That's a teaser.
Did you tell the psychiatrist that? We don't have to get into it, but did you tell the psychiatrist this yesterday?
He wasn't my roommate at the time. He already did a murder, and then he came back to try to, because he needed to escape. So he tried coming back to where he lived. And
you
he
were
would come
there?
back. No, I was on the
Oh.
road, but my roommates were not opening the door. And I'm like, yeah, maybe they shouldn't. But I went to the police to tell them, and they could have cared less. They're just taking my information and doing a background check. I mean, they could care
New
less.
York City, like,
yeah,
oh,
New York City does not want to get involved in anything. Like, yeah, you deal with that. Like, you're
that's
here.
what
What have you done? What have you done? We'll check out your background right now while you're
Yeah,
here. Maybe we'll put you in
your
jail.
social security number. Yeah. No, seriously. Like all they want to do in New York City is give you like a traffic fine. They want to give you as many tickets and then just like not arrest anybody. It's seriously like a prison run by the inmates.
Yeah, it's like literally my the guy who murdered someone is coming to my apartment trying to get in all the time. So, okay, if you want to hang out and find wait for him. Like, anyways, so you used to live in Ohio at this address. It's like, all right, I'm out.
Oh wow.
So that's all they did. So that's that case. Tell me about your other cases. What's going on with you and AOC?
So AOC blocked me on Twitter, and now you're like, oh, everybody can legally block somebody. Dude, Ray, where was that? When was that?
In Astoria at Snowdonia. I hung out with the AOC for an hour and a half.
What do you mean you hung out with her for? Was that before she was a congresswoman?
No, it's when she was. This was.
What do you mean you hung out with her for an hour and a half? I want a little more to this story. You guys just sat at the bar, just getting wasted. I mean, what do you?
July? No, she ate and like had a beer or two. No, everybody. It was a group of us. It's a small bar in Astoria, Queens, called Snowdonia. It was.
Oh, and you were having dinner with her?
July 20th, 2019. No, I just came in there to have a couple beers. I live next door to the place, and she was just in there hanging with the owners. So that was it. I'm gonna read some super chats because they're disappearing. Can you put the one that just disappeared, Andy? Alex, have you been involved at all with Steel Toe and Melton potentially boxing each other? Both continue claiming the other one is holding up the match.
You know, I got a promotion that I'm kind of working on in Dallas, and I would like to use both Steel Toe and Melton in the promotion, but I don't. They have so much heat. I don't even want to be the pro. Like, I just already Melton, and I'm not even trying to go after Aaron and April. I like Aaron and April, and I like Patrick. Honestly, I think they're both do good shows, but they have such beef between each other that I thought like, oh, this might be fun. Let me be a puppet master and put these together. This is good content. I'll produce it. I'm looking at it. It's just for me, I don't know if I benefit. I think I only lose in this situation, even though I want to make the fight happen. I would love to see that fight. I would probably be the number one person in the world in the Dabbleverse or whatever that would like to see that fight. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's still possible, but I just both think like, I mean, I think they both would do it. I don't think they're both. I really, from the messages they both sent me, Aaron's not afraid of Patrick, and Patrick has not insinuated any fear from Aaron. So, I mean, I think they would do it, but logistically, it's probably going to be a pain in the butt. And everybody has an ego. I got an ego. Patrick has an ego. Aaron has an ego. It's almost not worth dealing with these people's egos. You know, that's just so stupid in these podcast wars. It's all about our egos. Like Kevin gets his ego hurt. You get your ego hurt. Shuli gets her. These are just the ego wars.
I have a giant ego, buddy. I have the biggest ego.
Well, we do. Even if we're very self-deprecating, even if we're depressed, even if we're all this, we still have a little ego. I mean, some of us don't. Some of us are like really laid back, but it would be a lie to say that you have no ego whatsoever. So these people like Shuli, you know, the biggest example is Stuttering John has the world's biggest ego. If he just wouldn't have this huge ego, he'd just be down to earth. He'd be much more likable, and then the bullies wouldn't get to him so much.
I guess he's out of his mind. He's out.
Yeah, because he's always like, I got 165 IQ. I'm so smart. He has this huge ego. Like nobody has an ego as big as Stuttering John in the Dabbleverse. But like that's what it is. It's just an attack on our ego because nobody really cares. You know what I mean? There's probably like 20,000 dedicated people that kind of watch this stuff. And really, if you went outside, Ray, and you walked down the street and you said, hey, have you seen me on such and such podcast?
Nobody would know. Yeah.
Nobody would know. And that's the same with me. I mean, you know, like I do get recognized sometimes for my viral videos and stuff like, oh, you're the city council guy. That, you know, it happens occasionally. But I'm just saying, like, the world, there's so much different content, so much stuff. We all get our butt hurts, but we get real butthurt when the guy attacks me, like when Patty attacks me. That's why I try not to get butthurt. I don't care. I want more people actually watching and stream sniping my show.
No, I'm learning to deal with that. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
The Jake Tucker, pink jizz rag, you Pickle Sniffer. That's me. That's my new name. New
Yes.
title of the episode. James R. Happy to see Alex here, Ray. Keep up the good guests. Thank you, James R. I'm happy to see him here too. Bubble Popper 24. Why is Dixon mad at you? Answer in one sentence, please. We'll talk about it on a stream. We'll have him on a stream together, me and him, and hopefully Carlos Danger, because he knows the episode.
Is that
Purple
happening
80.
soon, Ray?
What's up?
Is that
Carlos
happening
Dick.
soon? With you and Pat? Are you guys doing a podcast?
We will. Yeah, he was going to do my podcast last night, but he couldn't because he was doing something else. But yeah, he'll do my podcast.
Carlos Danger's really carved himself out a little spot. I know. I like his analysis too of it. I mean,
Dude, he
I
knows
watched
everything. He knew the exact episode that was. He's like, oh, what he's referring to is this. It's like some episode back in April where it all started because a super chat came in that was read. Stevie took it out of context and like where it's like he was throwing a shot at me about something, and I was like, all right, you're gonna do that? Well, then check your history or whatever. And it got all blown out of context. And when Pat tried to call me on it, I kind of blew up at Pat. We'll figure it out. I don't hate the guy. We'll get to the bottom of it. Pauper 80. David Skywalker secretly donates to Ray's Patreon. Thank you. David Skywalker is a good guy. Pauper 80. AI Ray. Al Ray. People think I peed in the hallway, but it's a misunderstanding. I was just trying to set up a DIY slip and slide for the neighbors. True. That is true. Thank you, AI Ray. So back to we were talking about AOC before the super chats. Yeah, no, she was just hanging out at a bar. She was having dinner, and like she was hanging out with the owners and stuff. And she was a very nice lady.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't hate her because she made me kind of famous by like engaging me and making me out to be this huge villain for calling her a big booty Latina and then misrepresenting what I said. So, no, I actually kind of would like to be friends with her. But so I sued her because she blocks me on Twitter. And a lot of people are like, well, you're allowed to block people. Well, Donald Trump lost a lawsuit about blocking somebody, and so did Marjorie Taylor Greene. And basically it works like this is, once you're an elected official, you have to have a little bit of accountability from your
people have to have access to you. Yeah, you can't be like, this isn't like a friend zone type thing.
Yeah, so I'm not asking for any sort of financial benefit whatsoever. I'm just asking that she unblocks me, and her lawyers are being unreasonable, or she's being unreasonable. Her lawyers are communicating with us, but she wants me to sign some sort of document, and I don't even know what the punishment would be if I breach any of the terms of this contract, where I would promise not to ever confront her or go to an event or see her personally, which I can't do because I'm going to go see her ass 100%. Right. I mean, I'm going to see her, and I'm going to run into her again. I'm a political comedian. I mean, I'm going to go do political stunts. And she's going to be in politics. People think I'm crazy. I think she's going to run for president, not like next year, but I think 1 year if she keeps winning, like unless New York goes to crap and then they excommunicate her. But even if they excommunicate her, that might not ruin her. Hold on, it's my buddy Cassidy Campbell. Hey, Cassidy, I'm on a podcast. Can I call you back in 20 minutes? Okay, right. Okay, so my point being is, unless she just totally messes up New York and she gets totally excommunicated, and even if that happens, she still could fail upwards. I think she's going to be a primetime politician one day. Young people like her. She's hot.
She's a nice lady too. She's nice.
She's passionate. Like you can tell, she's like knows how to. Like none of these politicians really care about us. She doesn't even care about it. You know what I mean? They're all just very self-preserving. Like they want to keep their job, keep their funding. That's why when they get to, even if they have like the best intentions, once you get to DC, you start getting corrupted. But I guess my whole point is, I would not be surprised if she became even more of a political force at even a higher level than Congresswoman and became vice president or madam president potentially.
Yeah, but Ray, is AOC fit enough? Yeah, she's very attractive. Tampa Little Converters. That's a super. Yeah, she is. I do want to say this, man. Like, so Chad was on your show. I watched the episode. I thought it was a good episode. I think Chad would be fine if he just owned his baggage. If he just owned it, it'd be compelling. People would have compassion for him. The fact that he doesn't want to own any of it is insane.
Yeah, Chad's a kind of a tough one. Like I said, I'm not I did study sociology, so I guess I understand a little bit about social sciences. So, I mean, I guess if I'm analyzing his behavior, he has like antisocial tendencies to where he's really nice. He's actually easy to get along with. He's funny talking to him. You know, he's goofball. He's affable. But he has this like weird thing where like if he gets the impression that somebody's doing something to him, he like has to go full blast and attack them back. And I think that's his biggest problem. Like you're right. If he would just, you know, not be so reactive and impulsive, that would save him a lot of pain. But I actually like Chad. I mean, that Kevin gets mad at me that I'm nice to him. He doesn't get mad, but he's like, why? He's a loser.
I was friends with him for a year. I was friends with him for years. And like my only thing is like when him and KB had the breakup, and because I didn't just cut off Kevin Brennan, and I was still like somehow that was like the biggest crime in the world. And then he did a 180 on me, and then the whole thing that changed the thing was I was in the Bahamas, so I turned off my phone. Because
you had the gig at Atlantis or whatever, because he had that same gig, right? That's a big deal, or that's a pretty good gig. What do they let you go to Atlantis and they fly you out there too to stay at the hotel?
You had to pay your own flight to get there and stuff, but it's a tax write-off stuff. But anyway, so I'm there. I had my phone completely off, so I didn't even know he was trying to contact me. So it wasn't until I was in the airport in Miami and I turned on my phone and it's him trying to mend a bridge with me, being like, hey man, everything's cool. Like, just want to know, I got a little upset or whatever. And then like, I didn't respond. So I don't know if it was like that day. I just got like 19 text messages in a row. So the next one's like, yo dude, what's up? Everything cool? Then the next one, yo, seriously dude, what? The next one, go fuck yourself. You're a piece of shit.
That's what I'm saying.
And then like 17 horrible texts. And I think it was son of Billy Wagner who put it on Twitter. He did like a Eminem Stan video where like I'm Eminem on stage and Chad is Stan with all the text messages like, go fuck yourself. You're nothing without me. I was the one that fucking made you. You go fucking fuck yourself, you piece of shit. And it's like, dude, my phone was off for 2 weeks. My phone was fucking off.
I know, isn't that
fuck out? I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ.
And to react that way from not getting a message, but Chad's a professional at getting attention. That's why he stream snipes Kevin, because he wants his attention really more than and he wants the attention of his audience and he wants to make some money. I mean that but at the same time he's like, it's like the people that stream snipe you or stream snipe me. It's like when Melton does it to Aaron or whatever, you want that person's attention. That's why you're doing it. You know, you're like trying to troll them. So he definitely is like fond of Kevin. I would like them to put their differences aside and podcast again, but do you think that's ever going to happen?
I think Chad crossed so many lines with Kevin that I don't think that's
see, I grew up in the bail bond business, Ray, and I've dealt with people that are criminals, career criminals, and like just because people make mistakes, like they're not a bad guy. I mean, maybe Chad is. I know he's done bad stuff to Kevin, so it's different, but he's not done anything bad to me personally. So I don't know. I mean, he took some people's credit cards, which is terrible. But I mean, he spent under $1,000 or something. Like, it's more of a dumbass move, and you're protected. Everybody's credit card is protected, even your debit card from that. So I don't know.
I thought it was weird that the lady went and tried to track the people down. Like she took it upon herself.
I saw that at Starbucks. It's like, bitch, it doesn't even matter. Your bank is gonna let you have it anyway. So chillax.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Carlos Danger's in here. He says, Ray, please don't interrupt the guest when he is complimenting me. My apologies, Carlos Danger.
Carlos, like I said, Carlos has carved himself, and I like Carlos's voice. He has very smooth. I'm not good at impressions, but he's like, yeah, you know, Ray, what did you think of Pat? What did you think about the Ray Dixon episode last night? You know, he has a very coast to coast kind of nice radio vibe, and you can't. And I like his background too, because it can be any time of the day, but it always seems like it's night. You know, like he's at the studio at night. Carlos Danger, and I like white guys to take on a Mexican name.
He's always got it dark and everything.
Yeah, you know,
he's always like lurking in the dark. Dang, Lizard. Ray has a past of turning humans into steaks. Instead of apologizing, I will do a Ray and say, I don't know, that's all between Ray and his victims. Okay, dang Lizard. I take that. But yeah, I think he'd be fine if he just he gets some empathy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm empathetic too because Chad had a hard upbringing where single mom and stepdads and guys that beat them up and stuff like that. I'm very empathetic because what happens to you at that young of an age affects you the rest of your life, sadly. So that trauma is hard to shake off.
I thought I thought it was fine in there. So you're in New York City. Did you do Danny Polichuk's show yesterday?
No. I was just there. I was on Skype. I was on the show on Skype.
Okay.
But no, I'm traveling like crazy. So I'm going to, not this weekend I have off, but then I'm going to Skankfest in Las Vegas. And then after that, I'm going to Miami. Tim Pool's doing a live event in Miami with like Patrick Bet-David, Donald Trump Jr., and Congressman Matt Gaetz. And then after that, I'm supposed to speak at this like Reawaken thing in Palm Beach. And then after that is my fight basically in freaking Tampa. So I just got a bunch of crap going on in the next month. The next 6 weeks, I got to travel like 4 of the weekends. And I have to be training and my chest hurts. I was saying that earlier, like, dude, my chest from sparring, this black dude, he tagged me a couple times and like I got a bruise on my chest where it hurts if I breathe like really deep. It hurts.
Dude, I will say this. Ever since like the term Newports came on, and there was that episode of Elise on MLC where but I was talking to a black friend of mine last night, and I was just telling him like the origin, like he smokes cigarettes. He's like, yeah, it's weird. Sometimes I'll ask someone for a cigarette, and they're like, yeah, I don't have any Newports. Where it just everyone just assumes those are the only cigarettes. Like black. He's like, I don't even smoke Newports. I smoke American Spirits, and people like, yeah, I don't have any Newports. Like that's like a real thing. People not even. I don't smoke cigarettes, so I didn't know that that's like a real thing. I guess in the.
Oh, you didn't know that? No. Newports are an urban cigarette. They always have been. Like that's why, like in the hood, you always see big Newport signs. You never seen that, like at the hood gas station.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I never smoked cigarettes. I never got into smoking cigarettes because it just hurt my lungs too much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm off and on. I like to dip now. I started dipping again. It's terrible. Smokeless tobacco. It's the worst. I gotta stop. I just do it now because I'm kind of anxious during the day. Like not a bad anxious. I don't have depression, but I'm just kind of like I'm for the boxing. I eat when I'm kind of anxious. So I've been trying to dip medically. It's the dumbest thing. I've been dipping more, so I won't eat as much. Right? I'm like put a dip in, and then I won't eat all day. So I've just been dipping a lot. I got to stop doing that. But I like tobacco, but cigarettes. Like I don't drink anymore, but when I drank, I used to love cigarettes. Oh my gosh, there's nothing better than having like 3 or 4 beers and a cigarette. That's one of the. So you don't like, so when you drink, you don't have any nicotine, Ray?
No. And then at the end of the night or whatever, I don't smoke weed that often, but I don't mind like taking a hit of weed. Like that's like a night thing. I can't do that in the day. It'll mess up my day. But like sometimes taking a hit of weed instead of having like 4 beers, or I would have had 4 beers, I take a hit of weed and that like then I can nurse like 1 beer over like 40
What
minutes.
about wine? You never decided to drink wine,
I did. I was doing that for a minute and I don't know, it makes your teeth purple.
Yeah, it kind of makes you hungover.
Like, yeah. So like, but wine is, I don't mind. I don't mind the wine thing, but it's
and beer, you're not too hungover. If you only have like 4 or 5 beers, you're not too hungover because there's a lot of liquid. You know what I mean? Like you still do feel a little puffy and dehydrated, but not as much if you had like 4 margaritas.
Well, the other thing I do too, because I don't want to get gout. So for like every beer I drink, I'll drink like a pint of water because I gotta keep the liquids going to get it out. But
and then you're peeing like a horse, Ray. You're peeing like a horse.
You got to, man. That's how it is.
What a great episode talking about your bathroom habits. No, that's what we have to talk about. I mean, I'm telling you though, the one thing on my mind right now though is this boxing match. I mean, I just went straight from sparring to here, and that's what I'm telling you. I keep talking about my chest. It is really sore right now. I'm like, after I'm done here, I'm going to bring some ice to work as I go to the Blaze. And supposedly Ron DeSantis is there right now. I'm actually missing Ron DeSantis to be on the Rock Bottom podcast. Yes. Yeah, but I'm almost afraid because I don't want to troll Ron DeSantis. So I don't want to. I mean, I wouldn't troll him at the Blaze where I work. Never. I'm just saying. I don't even want to go there and make a joke with him and get anybody pissed off because I normally I would press politicians, but I'm not going to press Ron DeSantis at my job. You know what I mean?
Before you get out of here, I just thought about this. Andy, if you want, can you pull up the WNBA championship parade. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, it was like nobody there.
Nobody's there. The city spent.
Did it already happen? Did they?
millions.
Is it over?
Yeah, if you just YouTube WNBA,
Who won? What team?
Maybe Chicago, Las Vegas.
You know, I had
don't
a
know.
huge. You know, that was a huge video of mine this year when I confronted Brittany Griner in the airport, and I asked her if that was a fair trade for Putin.
Oh, I thought that was great. Yeah, I even joked because I'll do a WNBA joke in my act, and sometimes people are grown, and I'm like, name one player. And the one time there's I met Kim Harrington, who's a power forward for the New York Liberty. She was at my show in the Bahamas when I did that joke.
Shut up! You did a WNBA joke in front of a WNBA player.
I took a picture with her. It's also on my Instagram. But she's like, no, it's a funny joke. She's like, relax, everybody. That's a funny joke. Kim Harrington, who the New York Liberties. But yeah, dude, nothing is like more evident than like this WNBA. They shut down the city of Chicago to have a WNBA parade, and nobody's there. There's more people on the buses en route to the parade than there are. It's just police escorts for nobody.
Yeah, for nothing.
There's nobody there but the police that are there.
I just want to look it up. So let's see, WNBA parade. I mean, I thought it was just the first round. I guess there's not that many. Chicago Sky parade was a disaster, people are saying on YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty strong. They're calling it a disaster. Let's see.
Yeah, WNBA parade, Chicago, empty. No fans. Here, I'm just grabbing the link, putting it in the private chat for Andy. Or does he have it? Yeah, you can play some of this, but there's nobody there.
Yeah, there's literally 10 people right there.
Yeah. Like,
why do they need so many buses? There's only like 11 players on the team.
Yeah, the only people there is the security to keep away this massive amount of people where there's no one. Like, I see trees and like maybe those trees are people. Like, no, those are just shadows from the trees. Nobody was there. No one was there. The only people there was the media and the security guards to keep away this this group of people that have never been there. Filet of fish. Hope you're feeling better, Ray. We love you, buddy. I love you too, man. Thanks, fella. But what do you think? Like, how is that dose of reality not coming in?
Well, it's subsidized by the NBA, so it's lost money every year that it's been in existence. So it just
but like, how much money did that cost the city? If you're a city, it's like,
oh, they don't care.
Mock the Killers. Thank you, Dang Lizards. It's a good band.
They don't care that it costs money. I mean, the city shut it down. They probably didn't cost them $100,000 to a city. Dude, they get so much money in taxes and stuff. I mean, it's all a Ponzi scheme. But trust me, the city of Chicago has money, and if not, they'll just go into debt. I mean, who cares? It's all about social justice and progressivism, and Chicago is one of the most progressive cities in America. So the idea that they're not going to have a parade, I mean. But the resources probably weren't that expensive. They had the police escorts. They had to rent those buses. It's probably like 20, 50, I don't know, less than $100,000 to do that.
Yeah, no one showed up. I thought that was like, I don't know if they're ever going to have. You think will still have parades for WNBA winners?
Yes, they should. But nobody go to, so we have content to make fun of on podcasts. We need this. We need this so we can laugh about these hoes that can't play basketball. No, I'm kidding. I love these women, but they're I actually do think WNBA should exist, but I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's not a real serious sport that people like to watch or have the energy of the other pro sports.
Well, the other thing too, like before the NBA got big, before the Magic and Bird and the boom of the 80s, but even in Larry Bird's early career, they would play games in different cities because like they couldn't sell out where was that game with Larry Bird against the Atlanta Hawks? I don't know. I don't know. It was like in New Orleans or something where he set like the score. Like he would go to like whatever building and it's like, all right, what's a scoring record there? And like try to break the scoring record at the different venues. So they would play.
Yeah, I guess it's back
home
when the
games.
NBA was wild. There's like ABA and NBA probably. It's probably the Wild Wild West.
But even teams didn't play all their home games at home. They would play their home games in different cities just to like garner some interest in the NBA. Like, how come the WNBA doesn't do that? Like, they get to skip so many steps that the NBA had to do. Like, the players had to spend nights in airports and everything. Like, and this is in the 80s. This is when Michael Jordan was in the league.
Yeah, but now they're $1 billion. Dude, the contracts are $100 million like minimum max contracts. I mean, these guys are ridiculous. Okay, I gotta go, but everybody, please watch my show tonight, Primetime with Alex Stein, 7 p.m. Eastern after MLC on the Primetime with Alex Stein YouTube channel. And my heart hurts. And thank you for having me on.
I love you, buddy. Thanks for doing this,
man. See you guys. Peace.
Good luck. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a little while more. You're welcome to join me, Andy. But yeah, I just thought that was insane for the fact that the NBA didn't make money. Like the players used to have like take buses through the nights, and this was in the 80s. This is in the Michael Jordan, the Dominique Wilkins era. It wasn't until like the mid 80s where it started making profits and stuff. So the fact that the WNBA got to skip so many steps is like insane. They shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
David,
Bird and Magic revived the NBA, did they not?
Yeah, but even when they were playing, like they still had like do that, like spend nights in airports and stuff. Like they didn't get first class treatment, and that's why they were in the league. It was like towards the mid '80s when they already had been around like 4 or 5 years. Where it got interesting.
Yeah, after the '80s, since at least one of the teams was in every championship in the '80s.
Yeah, and then the other thing, like I said, you would play your home games on the road. Like the Cavs would play some home games in Toledo, Ohio and stuff just to garner more interest from other markets. So I think the WNBA should do that. You don't play all your games in Chicago. Go to like Bloomington, Indiana, and at the University of Indiana, play a couple home games there to get people interested and become fans there, whatever, where just to garner more interest. Like the fact that they think they get to skip so many steps, it's insulting to everybody else. It's insulting to the rest of the public to be like, why do you get to just skip all these steps and just like get anointed like this? It's like privileged children. It's like, nah, dude, do your, do the work that everyone else before you had to do in their leagues. David Sketty Walker, why isn't Alex echoing? What's different? I'm in Google Chrome. I don't know if that's it. Then I'm trying to work it out. And then I do have a few other things. WNBA teams should play 15-year-old boys teams. I'm just saying they need to do a better job marketing. It's kind of like that whole, they had that woke kid right out of college was named in charge of Bud Light marketing, and immediately we need a transgender lady. And then people only bought Bud Light cans so they could shoot them up with their machine guns. And now all the Bud Light they changed. It's now military. They have military to get people back. And I actually like the Dylan Mulvaney thing I talked about before for the fact that Bud Light is just $1.19 for a 16-ounce aluminum bottle, and they were always sold out whenever I go to buy beer. Now they're never sold out. They're always there. So it worked out in my favor that Bud Light is readily available where before it was not, at least in Northeast Ohio. Here's some stories I wanted to get into with Alex, but you're a Howard Stern fan. Is that correct, Andy?
Absolutely. Yeah, big time.
All right, so I don't know if you saw this. This is in the private chat. I put up put in Howard Stern being woke. Yeah. So what do you think about this? This whole thing him being over the top woke? What's his transition? Because you watch him more than I do, but I always knew him as a shock jock, and that was the thing. He was a dude that didn't mind saying the most inappropriate things, or didn't mind being edgy about whatever, ruffling feathers, and kind of doing an Alex Stein, what Alex Stein does now, just getting attention and not trying to be malicious, but just trying to point out how ridiculous it is that people are offended with stuff, to where he is now. What is this new Howard Stern? What is the difference as someone that's followed Howard Stern all these years? What do you see about this Howard Stern?
I think Howard's matured over time. I mean, he's in his 60s, so I mean, he can't be bringing women in and having them on the Sybian or that kind of stuff. It's different when you're in your 30s and 40s, maybe, but once you kind of hit 50, 60, it gets kind of creepy, And he's been doing the interviews. He's been, living off of a lot of that for the most part. But the whole woke thing, I mean, the word woke, I mean, we're all generally woke. I mean, it's a word that's kind of been overused.
Yeah, it just means don't be a. Yeah, it just means don't be a dick.
Yeah, it means you're aware.
That's essentially, yeah, exactly.
Being aware.
That's a good
We're
word.
all aware.
Yeah.
Well, most of us.
Ouch!
But,
Is that a shot at me? Ouch!
How do you feel, Ray? What's your opinion about Howard, present day?
I don't listen to him. I mean, I don't listen to him. It's not because like it's anything against him, but my only Howard Stern stuff that I was into was when he had that show on E. I would watch his show on E from time to time, and I liked that show. I did enjoy that show, but as far as like listening on Sirius XM, I was more an Opie and Anthony guy, and it wasn't so much that I liked Opie and Anthony as much as I liked the. I mean, I thought they were great. Don't get me wrong, but it was them having Jim Norton, Patrice O'Neill, Greg Giraldo. I was just a fan of the comedians that they would have.
Sure.
So that was just more my speed and more what I I think Patrice O'Neill was fantastic.
Yeah, it's too bad he didn't really get. I think he was on Stern once. He had a one-time deal there, but Howard for a while had a lot of comedians on for years, and then all of a sudden he just kind of stopped.
Did you see the change? Have you ever met him? No,
I've never met him. I called into the show a few times, but no, I've never met him in person.
Yeah, and I guess he's still at Sirius XM, but I mean, I never seen him, or I guess they got their own floor. No, they're not. They're on the same floor because I saw Mike Trainer, who works for Howard Stern, and I saw him in the lobby when I was waiting to go on Jim and Sam. So they got to be on the same floor because that's where I saw Mike. And then I asked Mike, who's a very funny comic. I asked him if he wanted to do my podcast. I go, oh, it'd be great, because I'm on Shuley Network. And he said to me, he's like, yeah, it'd be better if he didn't. Like, he doesn't like really, unless he's doing something on the Stern show, it doesn't benefit him to like, why mess something up just in case, Right. So like, yeah, so he like didn't really want to. Like he's a great guy, he's a nice guy, but like he was like, yeah, he doesn't really do stand up anymore or anything. It's more just focused on the Stern show now, right. Which I wonder if Shuley was there when Trainer was there, but I wonder what happened to Mike Trainer.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I stopped listening to Howard regularly a while back, just scheduling that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure. Mike Trainer, When do you know when he started with Stern?
Maybe he was 7 years ago. I don't want to put word, but he's there now. He's one of the main guys there.
Right.
But he'd be a talking head on like True TV and stuff. But yeah, I just remember I'd see him all the time at comedy clubs. And then one day I didn't see him anymore. And he's like, yeah, once I started working on the Stern show, they kind of like just, this is what they want you to focus on.
Right.
So. But yeah, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think it's like he doesn't want to ruffle feathers by going on other stuff. Shane M 1980. If want to see a good women's basketball parade, look up the parade LSU had after winning the national championship. Do you mind YouTubing that? We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Dang Lizard. Why do you believe we landed on the moon, Ray? I don't know. Alex made me skeptical. Maybe we didn't. I want to say we did land on the moon. If I had to bet money on it, I'm going to go with the moon. I think it'd be too much of a cover-up for us not to land it. But do I officially know if we landed on the moon? No, I wasn't there, but I'm going to assume I'm not going to be a conspiracist just for the sake of being a conspiracist. But, yeah, it is weird that we would go to the moon and then quit going to the moon. But I guess went up to the moon, we saw everything we needed to see. It's like if you're a tourist, you go to Rome one time, you see all the stuff in Rome. It's like, why do I got to go back? I saw everything that there is in Rome, so I don't need to go back. I saw is the Mona Lisa in Rome? Is that like the most famous painting? So it's like you saw it. If you go see the Mona Lisa, you saw it once. Hey, there it is. Like
isn't the Mona Lisa in the Louvre?
I
In
guess
France?
in France. All right, well, whatever. So you go to the Louvre once, like going to Paris, the Louvre. You see it. It's like there it is. There's that painting.
Yeah. Italy,
Check it off
France.
the list.
Same thing.
So maybe yeah. It's overseas. It's over on the other side of the pond, as they like to say. Howard Stern lived long enough to become Don Imus, catalytic converters.
Not
Yeah,
sure.
and that's the other thing too. Like when they say like NBA players not knowing who Howard Stern is, like that'd be the same thing with me. Like I knew of Don Imus, I knew the name, I didn't know him at all until Rutgers basketball team, and he called them nappy headed hose on the air, and then like he got into a big. I don't know if he got canceled or whatever, but like he had to deal with that. Like that wasn't good for him to do that. And that's the first time I actually ever saw a picture of Don Imus. Otherwise, I never would have known. He kind of looks like an older Rod Stewart with more Rod Stewart hair, if I remember.
You didn't know of Don Imus till the nappy-headed hoe comment?
Yeah, when the Rutgers basketball team was in the Final Four, and he called the team, he said, "Oh, these girls look like a bunch." This is his words, "nappy-headed hoes." And then he got in big trouble for saying that remark. And that's the first time I ever saw a picture of Don Imus. I never would have known what he looked like. So I was like, oh, that's what this Don Imus guy looks like. Dang, Lizard. Mike just didn't want to be associated with that. Talking about my podcast. Mike was like, I don't want to be associated with that. It could be. Leo Gunn, the great Leo Gunn. I was a Stern fan from early K-Rock days in the 90s, right up until Artie Lang left. Howard did a total 180 and sold out after that. Show sucks now. Yeah, I'll watch clips now of Howard Stern because of the whole Stuttering John stuff and where we're at and like the people that I see on podcasts now that I'm in the same world with. And I will say, like, yeah, I've seen Levy flip out a few times on the show, which was funny. It's but now that I'm friends with everybody in this world, I don't know if I say I'm friends with Stuttering John. I'm not an enemy of Stuttering John, but just to like now that I know these people, to go back and watch clips, I'll see that a lot, and then like I'll see that on my YouTube feed. I was like, oh, let me watch this. Yeah, I think I was watching a clip of Beetlejuice fight Hank the Angry Dwarf, which is adorable, watching two little people fight, because it's like, all right, how much damage are they really going to do? You know what I mean?
The all-time greats.
And then I think also on that thing, I saw a video clip of what's his name? Gary Busey, tackling Robin and trying to dry hump Robin. And Howard Stern had to get him in a headlock to calm him down. It's like, what the hell is that? I don't, that had to be pretty insane. Which, what's going like? I assume Howard Stern is that his only physical altercation? I have to imagine he's not in a bunch of physical altercations, but to be in a thing where I guess you like Gary Busey, he's someone where we don't need security around because he's a celebrity. He'll be kind of in control. But when there's no security around, to see Gary Busey like lose his mind.
Yeah, where was Ronnie on that one?
Yeah. But that lets you know Howard Stern was still willing to mix it up.
Oh, yeah.
He was still willing to mix it up with Gary Busey. I don't know if I'd want to get in
He's trained for years, though.
What's up?
Howard's trained for years, though. I'm not sure what style of karate it was, but as far as I know, yeah, him and his daughters.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've never... Yeah, I'd rather just exercise. I'm not into like training to fight. I think I talked about it once, like when I got in a fight playing basketball in a basketball league. I got in a fight with a guy bigger than me, and I was throwing punches, and I like threw out my shoulder. Like it hurts to throw punches. I like messed up my shoulder because all my adrenaline's going, and like I ended up hurting myself. That was my only injury. It's my shoulder from like just throwing punches as hard as I could.
You're using different muscles you don't normally use.
Yeah. So that was my injury from fighting. David Sketty Walker. Ray, when someone asks you if you know why Pat was mad at you, They're not asking if you're mad at Pat. Why was he mad at you? Was equals why was he mad at you? Was equals past tense. Again, it's a clip on a podcast I gotta find, and we'll hash it out on an upcoming episode. I was gonna do it last night, but he wasn't able to do the episode. I don't know why we have to keep going back to that, but yeah, that's
Why don't you
we're
do it
about
next
it.
Thursday at 1?
Yeah, what's up?
Why don't you do it next Thursday at 1?
If he wants to, if he's available, we can do it next Thursday at 1. That sounds like a fine idea. But yeah, that's my only time being in a fight where I ended up hurting my shoulder by throwing punches. So that's what I will say in regards to that. And then one other story, I kind of wanted to go into this with Alex if there was time to do it. But talking about, I guess I'll just do my own comments on it. But the Hassan, and I'm going to mispronounce. I always mispronounce his name. Minhaj. Hassan Minhaj is what I always call him. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I never had to bring him up on stage, so I don't. But I just call him Hassan when I see him. But so people are saying, should he be accountable for, like, does it matter, like, lying in jokes or whatever? And I'm going to say no. Jokes are jokes. You're allowed to lie in jokes. The joke that I guess they're coming under scrutiny about is when after 9/11, he was saying that they had someone talk to him about, they were just talking to Muslim people or whatever, and because he's Pakistani or whatever, and he was saying that, like, he made a joke to a security agent or whoever. I don't know, like, why they would have to, like, talk to kids, but he said he was thinking about getting his pilot license, and an FBI informant threw him up against a car or whatever. And he just says that as a joke in his act. If you could, how he sniffed out, yeah, right around there. You're if you scroll down just a little bit, scroll down a little more, digging into his last two specials. Hassan is a comic who leans into fiction as real were arguments, putting himself closer to the center of attention. News stories make him seem more brave or wrong to danger to explain. The Patriot Act in wake of September 11th. An FBI informant named Brother Eric had infiltrated his childhood mosque and had dinner at his house. Minaj recalls how he sniffed him out and in a prank asked about getting a pilot's license, which led to a police officer throwing him against a car. All right, if I heard that in an act, I would assume it's a joke. I don't think they would take a kid and throw him against a car. So I'm going to say this is a non-issue. It's obvious. If you're there watching a comedy show, assume it's a joke. Assume this is not. So I'm going to give Hassan a pass on that. If you go to a comedy show, assume they're jokes. That's what I will say. I don't think it should. And I think this article is good for Hassan because guess what it does? It puts more eyeballs on him. I'm talking about him today where I would not have been talking about him. So, yeah, if someone says something in a joke, assume it's a joke. Don't think everything is truth. Don't get up and be like, I'm offended because of this or whatever. It's a joke. You don't like it, just go ahead and leave.
Yeah, it's a new generation. Everyone's getting all offended about everything.
Leo Gunn. Pusey had a recent head injury from an MC accident before unpredictable and irrational on Stern Show behavior, attacking Robin once, had to be restrained. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he definitely had to be restrained. But, yeah, I just thought it was weird there was no security there, considering how much security is around. David Sketty Walker, another non-answer. Do you even know? Pat's going to be on the episode. Keep super chatting. I love you, David Sketty Walker. But, yeah, he's going to be on a podcast. And hopefully Carlos Danger's also able to go on so we can, like, go to the clip and just squash and squash this whole thing. But, yes, I know. It's drama. Everyone loves drama in this podcasting world. What do you think of this drama? What's your favorite drama, Andy?
What's my favorite drama?
Yeah, what's your favorite drama? These podcast drama. What are the stories that interest you more this week? What's going on the BS show? What's some of the topics you covered this week? What am I missing out on? Fill me in.
It's been a lot of Stuttering John. He's been on a lot lately, so he's giving us a lot more content and things to talk about. His relationships with people that he, people he first meets, he automatically assumes they're best friends of his, and just his interactions with DG and Joey C. Joey C's been stepping up lately. But
who's this DG guy? Because I've only met him a couple times on streams. What's his beef with John? What's his problem with John? Or
he doesn't have a beef with John. He generally doesn't have a beef with anybody. He's pretty agreeable no matter what show he's on or who he's talking to. He's a fan.
I met him and he was nice. I mean, he didn't have any stories where I was like, oh, I got to hear this story. He just seemed to be like just a guy hanging out, but he didn't seem to be a troublemaker.
You met DG in person?
No, I just met him on a stream.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was on one of my streams. I don't know if it was on a Carlos Danger stream, if it was MLC. But he seemed like a pretty agreeable guy.
Oh, very. And, yeah.
I did think it's hilarious when Kevin asked John that he's got to send him a W-9 because he paid him $3,000, and John's like, he's like, where do I send it to? And John's like, shush, shush. Which I don't think you could do that. When the IRS is like, hey man, you owe us tax money. Shush, 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 shush. Like, I think that's not that's going to catch up to you. That's not an answer. Like, that's not going to solve anything. You're just creating bigger problems for yourself, is what I will say. But dude, John loves putting himself out there and all this stuff. Like, I get why people like to cover the guy. He loves being in the middle of the attention and loves changing whichever way the wind's blowing, whatever he feels like he should. And it's a lot of content. It's a lot of content. So
he's a very messy narcissist.
And he I guess he lost his teaching gig, which makes sense. This is like more, I don't think he should be teaching kids if he's going to be this out in the public about all his stuff.
Yeah. And I still question whether he actually lost his teaching gig or whether he just decided not to do it anymore. I mean, he moved somewhere else to another state. He thought podcasting would be in his future, especially hooking up with Kevin Brennan. But then, he got paid that one-time fee, that nice little amount he got. But then since then, it's been just a few dollars here and there.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I thought was I guess it's announced he's going to be in Rochester. I hope he shows up for the people involved. That'd be nice. But knowing John, I see that show being canceled and uncanceled, then back on, then back off, then back on, then back. Like, it's too far out in the future to predict. Like, that dude changes day to day.
Right. Yeah. You're very perceptive on that one, Ray.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see it being on again, off again, on again, off again.
Oh, could you imagine dealing with him on a day-to-day basis, an hour-to-hour basis?
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope it happens, and it should happen. I'm rooting for it to happen because I love all the people putting it together, and that'd be a great event, and it could be great for John. But yeah, the way that it changes.
The only problem is going to be John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray, can you name 3 songs by the Killers? Yes, I can. Can you read my mind? Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend.
Mason Portland.
What's another Killer song? Can you read my mind? I'm not a soul, but I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I know like 15 songs by the Killers. I run to them a lot because they have a lot of upbeat music stuff. So
Read My Mind.
Yeah. So they're a great band. I've seen them in concerts, hence the T-shirt. And yeah, I'll tell you my favorite Killer songs. I got running playlist.
They got a lot of songs.
Yeah. It's just I run to when you were young, read my mind, human. Yeah, it's my running list for today. When you were young, read my mind, human, then Heart of the City, Jay-Z, Empires, Brilliant Disguise. So that's my running list. I'm a big Killers fan. Dang, Lizard, why was Pat mad at you? Simple answer, you said something that made him look like a bad guy. You relate because you don't like it when people do that to you. We'll talk about it when he's here on the show. I don't want to speak out of turn. I will speak in a setting with Pat, and I want to see the clip that I tried looking for the clip. I couldn't find it. I hit up Carlos Danger, not that he's in charge of finding the clips, but he said it was some show in April, and I tried looking for the clip to see exactly what it was. But I will look for that, and we'll address it. Please show us a baseball card. My two, courtesy of MGD Beats, a Mike Piazza rookie card.
Nice.
And a Kirby Puckett rookie card. There you go. Those are my two baseball cards that are near me. There you go. Tar. George, Ray, I'm an unlicensed psychiatrist that will charge you only half of what that quack will cost you. You can't even drink during our sessions. Yeah, dude, I had a therapist that I like, but I don't know if you heard, but he fell over. He like couldn't walk. He was an old dude, and he fell over, and then he was like on leave for a while, and then he just retired. It was like too much. He like messed himself up. Then I saw another therapist, and he just didn't relate to any of my stories. Like I tried explaining stuff to him, and like, yeah, he didn't.
He couldn't relate to the gout stories.
No, I just whatever was going on in my life, like he couldn't relate to like. It's like no, dude, you're not getting it. So, and he would just everything with him was just like a checklist. Do you feel like killing yourself today? Do you feel like harming yourself today? Like just a list of questions he would ask whoever the person was. I'm like, dude, I already know the questions. Even if I felt like any of them, I'm just gonna say no. So it just got too formulatic and too like, why am I paying this? I'm just paying to get more upset. I would get more out of meeting up with friends and bitching about him than I did talking to him. He would get me more worked up.
Right.
After my therapy session, I was more worked up after talking to him than I was going in. I got nothing accomplished by talking to him.
Oh, maybe you got some material out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It's stuff that no one can relate to. I try to write some jokes. That's what I try to do over here. Where's producer Joe been?
He's been busy. He's working on some stuff for our 4:00 show.
Okay, what do you guys got coming up at 4:00? What
Uncle Rico.
More John stuff.
More John stuff.
Are you going over clips that happened the last few days with John?
As far as I know, we got some stuff we're still trying to finish covering. And yeah, I think there's some newer stuff happening. I don't want to say too much.
And you guys missed a great time in Detroit.
It was good.
I had a lot of fun. It was awesome. I did realize this, like, it's a lot. I do realize like live events for like podcast shows are a little different than like stand-up shows where like a lot of the people, it was nice meeting people, but they're a little more reluctant because they're like behind keyboards where it's like you see a fan of yours from comedy and they're excited to meet you, like let you know everything with like people like it's almost like they're coming out to you like, hey, I'm so-and-so or whatever. And I almost don't want to say their names because I don't want to like, you know, because I think it was David Skywalker. I took a picture with him. It's like, why'd you put that on the internet? Now everyone knows what I look like. It's all right. I was just
usually
excited.
They'll tell you. You know, like when we were in Pottstown, there's a couple fans there. I won't say their names, but they didn't mind the pictures, but it's like you can't show them. You can't. And a couple people wouldn't even take the picture. They were fans, but they wouldn't take a picture for that reason. They don't want to be doxxed.
Yeah,
Here's what it is.
I had a lot of time, and everybody at WATP was fantastic. They everybody over there
Yeah, I heard it sold out.
Troy. Yeah, Troy gave me a fuck Kevin Brennan T-shirt, which I wore in MLC, and Kevin Brennan was a fan of it. He liked the T-shirt.
Now, did you do time on stage, or were you part of the podcast at all, or what was your?
I was part of the podcast panel.
Okay.
I was part of the podcast panel. I went up with Tukey and Cardiff Electric, and
great company.
Yeah, and we had a great time.
Nice.
And Thursday night was the night before. That was like the meet. So we went to we went to like a restaurant, a bar, and it was like kind of like a meet and greet with everybody. We had fun. But I was driving, so I only had like 3 beers. I didn't really want because obviously I did it was like 20 minutes away from the hotel. So then we get back to the hotel. Then I'm like, yeah, let's have some beers, and everyone else is like winding down, like, we're going to bed. And it's like, what? I'm just now ready to party. I was like ready to party at the hotel, and they were like, we're going to bed. And then the event was awesome. I went out where Kinky Loco was staying. They were staying at this guy's place that had a giant aquarium. This aquarium was so big they had fish in it. They literally had to have signs on it like, please do not swim in the aquarium.
Jeez.
Like it was that big that you could think it's a swimming pool.
Was it someone home?
No, it was like an Airbnb, but they know the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, they know the guy. So they were there for that. But it was fantastic. Dang lizard. Read this, Ray. Pat, I don't recall saying that, but if I did, I was out of line. I'm sorry. Is that so difficult? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I get it. We'll do this on a podcast. And we're fine. I got worked up with Pat on the screen. It's not like I was hiding. This was a thing that happened in real time. But yeah, I have to.
Ray, how did the subject get brought up? I haven't seen the whole thing, so I don't know if it was Stevie Lou or if you brought it up or like who.
I don't know. I got to watch a clip. I was looking for the clip. Carlos Danger told me about the clip. I got to go back and look at so I don't want to comment on something that I had not seen. So I have to go back and watch that before I can comment on that.
Now, are you talking about a clip that you were a part of?
Yeah.
I guess it was watch yourself.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's somewhere in my episodes. I have to find the clip to watch it before I can comment on it. So like I'd be dumb to have a comment on something I haven't seen, something I don't remember.
You were a part of.
Yeah, it's like what happened at lunch on March 11th, 2015. It's like I don't remember what I ate. I don't remember. I have to see the video footage to know what exactly it is that I'm commenting on. So how about I don't comment on it until I see it?
Please do that soon.
Yeah, I have to find it. I tried looking for it today. I couldn't find it. Carlos Danger said it was sometime in April. It's on my Patreon somewhere. So it's somewhere in April. Patreon.com/Ray DeVito. Go ahead and find it. It's an episode somewhere in April. I have no idea where it is or where exactly. So I have to find it before I can comment on it. Dang, lizard. Do you not understand this? Ray, now say, I feel sorry for the relatives of all my victims. Unfortunately, they will never be found. Dang, lizard. He's got a picture of prime time. Dang, lizard used to be on my Patreon. He's not on my Patreon anymore. He got sick of me. He got sick of me. That's what he did. He got sick of me. All right. I love everybody. I'm going to wrap up. What do you want to say, Andy?
What do I want to say?
Yeah. Anything you want to say? Any closing thoughts? Any, what you learned today? Any comments you want to say on anything that was talked about?
Well, I guess I've learned that you have a bit of a bad memory when it comes to stuff that you're particularly involved in.
It's an episode. You understand? Like I do a lot of episodes a week. I don't recall everything that was said, the context it was said. I have to go back and see the footage to know what the hell I'm commenting on.
All right. Well, I'm looking
Do you
forward to you.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand actually. Yes.
Like, let me see the footage, and then we can go back. Did I come at Pat? Yeah, I did. On MLC, I did kind of come at Pat kind of hard. I don't know why. I felt like accused. I was like, all right, well, like, why are we bringing up old stuff? So yeah, I did go at Pat. But I do not dislike Pat. If Pat's upset for me for coming in angry at him, I can understand it. Like, yeah, I was more like thrown off. Like, where's this coming from? I have to watch a clip, and then we'll get to the bottom of it, and I'll know what the hell I'm commenting on. It's like, hey, comment on this set you had doing stand up. It's like, I don't remember the particular set, so how can I comment on it if I don't know what I'm commenting on?
Okay.
Ray, you can't comment on a clip of him commenting. You were there. You really are a buffoon. Thank you, Ray, Mr. P. Ray. Nana Zuma. Nobody. That was interesting. Antidote, Ray. Thank you, Nana Zuma. David Sketty Walker. I won't be joining your page. Fine, I don't need you, David Sketty Walker. I don't know. Is that the same David Skywalker?
I'm not
or
sure.
Did they change? There's two of them. Is there a David Sketty Walker and a David Skywalker? But that's fine. Yes, you also don't have to join my Patreon. That is also an option. You guys. But okay. All right. I love everybody except David Sketty Walker. Thumbs down. And all right. Franklin Scheckler coming in. I'm a member of Ray's Patreon. Thank you, Franklin Scheckler. Follow me on Instagram, ray.devito. Subscribe on YouTube at Rock Bottom Pod, patreon.com, Max Ray DeVito, at Ray DeVito on Twitter, on TikTok at Ray DeVito. And then, I'm putting up clips of my stand-up comedy special at youtube.com/RAYDEVI. And check that out. Okay. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.